This is a presentation from the 2013 Cannabis World Summit. Please visit www.cannabisworldsummit.com for more great cannabis information, which is available to you completely for free. This information is being made available to you in part thanks to our sponsors. Please visit their websites to learn more about their excellent products and services. The following presentation is for informational purposes only. The opinions expressed are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Leaves of Hope Productions, Inc. Please note that regardless of any statements expressed or implied in the following presentation, that we do not condone you breaking any laws. We are not providing any legal, medical, or financial advice of any kind. No comments about cannabis being a cure for any medical use, expressed or implied, is to be taken as a claim or guarantee. None of the statements have been verified by the FDA of the United States, Health Canada, or the governing organizations of your particular country. And again, this information is being provided for informational purposes only, and the participants exercise their freedom of speech discussing what they believe to be true. We do not guarantee the accuracy of any information provided. It is your responsibility to evaluate the information before you choose to make any use of it. Please consult with a doctor knowledgeable about cannabis prior to using cannabis and or prior to discontinuing any medications you may be currently using. Please check with the laws of your country and region to determine whether you are legally permitted to use and or grow cannabis prior to any involvement with cannabis yourself. Even though we believe that cannabis ought to be legalized, we do not condone you violating any laws. Please review the legal disclaimers on the Cannabis World Summit website and only proceed to enjoy this presentation if you agree with all legal disclaimers, agree to hold the company, Leaves of Hope Productions, Inc., and the presenters harmless and are of legal age in your region. Thanks to Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com for the music used in this introduction.
So I have Sean Zarilli from CTS Innovations here on the line with me, and we're talking about this fabulous product called the 7-leaf drying rack, one of these units here, and I've got this assembled, and I've been playing around with it, and I have to say that I'm actually quite impressed with this, Sean. So we're going to talk a little bit about this product, and also I'm interested to know more about your company and who can actually utilize this product and why is this beneficial. But first of all, Sean, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with me on this call. And also, can you start off by telling us just very briefly about yourself and about your company, and then let's get into about what is the 7-leaf drying rack.
Yeah, for sure. My name is Sean Zarilli. I live in Michigan. I've lived here my whole life. Up until recently, there's been quite an influx in the garden industry. It's become pretty apparent all over the state. We have several friends in the garden industry. And I've had several friends approach me and just overhearing things and discussing things. One of the concerns and applications with the growing industry is the drying effect and the different types of drying, different methods and everything. And, people were always talking about what would be the best approach and the best way to attack the drying scenario. So we came up with a little idea and approached a few friends with it, and they thought that it was a great idea, and they put it to use and found that it was very effective. So we proceeded from there to try to bring something to market, and in that event, we came up with the 7-leaf drying rack, which can really be utilized, in all aspects of drying for herbs and medicinal or non-medicinal. We found quite a few people who were interested in it, and we decided to try to put it out on the market and to see what kind of a reaction we've got. As the more and more people that obtained it, the more and more reactions we got that were in the positive. So we decided to try to take it to another level and introduce it to the world, and hopefully, people will utilize it and like it just the same.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, I grow a number of herbs in my garden, various different types of medicinal herbs as well as teas and so on and so forth. And I know that this can also be utilized for cannabis as well, which is actually, of course, the primary function. What we're focusing on here at the Cannabis World Summit. However, let's not get too far into that part of the discussion. But obviously, I think that this is a fantastic drawing system because, of course, utilizing various different things. Of course, you have the lines, the coat hangers, the nets. Of course, you were mentioning that it creates flat spots, and there's other problems. And I'd like for you to elaborate upon all of those things. But this is actually a brilliant, very elegant system that's so convenient in so many ways. And I'll talk about some of my impressions a little bit further on. But can you explain what is this product, the 7-leaf drawing rack, and how does it work?
The 7-leaf dry rack is a unique drying system that was developed with the, the non-commercial end growers in mind, more for homeowners and stuff like that. And the more, I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for here is, but, one of the concerns a lot of people approached us with was that the space that it takes up to dry. People use, like you said, coat hangers, lines of such, throughout, wherever they're doing it, closets, rooms, wherever, and it just takes up a lot of space. So our idea was to try to bring something that would utilize the space better without, using all your coat hangers in the home or, having to run strings from one wall across to the other. So we developed the 7-leaf dry rack to utilize space and to try to be as effective as possible. Now your nets and those such sorts of dryers are very good, but they degrade the product quite a bit because you end up where the product becomes flat on spots and it sticks to the net, and people obviously don't want to degrade their product when they spend so much time and love and effort into growing those products to be to at its potential, so the last thing you want to do is right at the end is degrade it. So with that in mind, the 7-leaf rack was designed to take 24 coat hangers, so to speak, and condense them into a 3x3 space. And that's just what we did with it. And once we, started to utilize it, we realized that we really had a product that was very effective. The rack breaks down very neatly into a small package, which I'm sure you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, can you actually describe it for our listeners? Because of course I see this. It comes in a beautiful, a very nicely done nylon bag here, and of course zippered up. Of course, nicely saying the 7-leaf drying rack here, and of course it all folds down very compact, so it's easy to store away when it's not the season to be utilizing it. But when it's time to be using it, it just takes a few minutes to assemble this whole thing. And I think this is great because, as you mentioned, of course you can hang this in your closet, in your garage, or any place that or outside, wherever that you need it. And other things, for example, like those lines or those coat hangers, if you needed to move it, it's one thing that strikes me with this is it's so easy to move. You literally just pick up the hook, and you can literally carry 24 line feet of drawing space with one hand and park it somewhere else. I think your brochures mentioned that you could put about 10 pounds or so of
wet, right, fresh material on there. Yes.
Yes.
Yep, it can utilize quite a bit. We've actually never been able to overdo it. Once the rack is completely full, the weight has never been an issue. We've never had too much weight or a point where it can't handle it. So it is, and yes, moving it around is very easy. Obviously, like you said, you can just lift it with the hook and carry it pretty much anywhere you want to go, which makes it convenient in a sense when if something happens, you have to move something out of the way or whatnot. It makes it very easy to move around. It's composed of three plastic hubs, 24 12-inch bars that attach to the hubs, and a main rod that is broken down into 3 pieces so that it's easily compacted and packaged away when you're not in use. It's very easy to assemble. The 3 main rods all screw together. They all have rubber hubs on there, and you stick the plastic hubs over it, place your bars in place, and there you go. And you can use two layers of 2 levels of the bars, or you can add the third. And if you had 2 racks, you could actually extend them and do 4 or 5 off of one hook. So it really can utilize a lot of space for people who are trying to condense things down and not take up so much space while they're drying.
Yeah, definitely. Of all the drying systems out there, I'm sure that this is probably one of the best to be utilizing. And of course, also the nice thing about it is too, it seems that you can also rotate those hubs, so that if you wanted to turn it while putting new materials on, you can easily rotate it and access it, look around. If you have fans blowing, you can change the angles that things are presented to the fan, so that you can have even drying. I'm sure it's obvious to anybody who's drying any kind of herbal materials that this would be a fantastic space-saving, economical, ergonomic, all sorts of wonderful ways to use this, and it's definitely a lot more convenient than pretty much anything else out there, I'd say.
Yes, definitely. And it's targeted too for the the homeowners who like to do herbs and stuff in their gardens in the summertime. They can easily put I've seen people put a little hook in the ceiling and they hang it up over their sink. It takes up such little space. They can hang their herbs right there over the top of it, and they're fresh, and they can peel from it right there when they want to utilize them. So it really is a very neat little product, and the reviews we've received on them are very high. Everybody seems to take a very good liking to it, and it it solves a lot of issues with a lot of people who are confined for space.
Well, another issue that actually I'm sort of aware of, because I also dry a lot of herbs from my garden, and I'm talking about herbs, things that you would buy in a health food store, just to be clear here.
Yes.
And of course, one of the things I do is from my gazebo, I usually run it across a string and I hang it. And of course, bad weather comes, and unfortunately, there's not much I can do about it. So I just have to sort of brave the weather when that happens. However, what I can see is this is just so convenient that you can literally pick it up, move it to the garage, wait out the weather, and then when nice weather comes with the breezes again, then you can just put it back out in the gazebo or the shaded areas to let it naturally dry. So definitely, I can see there's definitely a lot of advantages for anybody using this, for cannabis cultivation, to of course any types of herbs for that matter. Of course, cannabis is an herb, but we're
right.
making the distinction here because this is a part of the summit. So also I've noticed that you have other products as well. Like you have this what's it called? I can't remember what it's called, but it's to elevate the garden equalizer. You want to just talk about that for a moment?
Garden equalizer, yes. The garden equalizer was designed with the 5-gallon bucket people. Anybody using pots, in any case, no matter what types of herbs you're growing, there's always a sense of one or two becoming more aggressive than another. And everybody knows that, the amount of light your plant receives is a direct result of what the yield can be. And when you have a plant that's more aggressive than another, you usually get one plant that's going to suffer because your lighting has to be above, a certain distance above your plant so you don't burn them or damage them in any ways. Well, that one little plant can often suffer quite dramatically and have, a very, very small or very poor yield due to that. So what the garden equalizer does is it elevates your plants in 2-inch increments in a stackable tray system that will allow you to even your canopy so that everything gets equal amount of light, no matter whether, the plant is smaller or larger, depending on the types of herbs you're doing. You might have certain plants that will grow much smaller than others, but you obviously want them to grow to their potential. So by utilizing the garden equalizer, you can level your canopy, thus giving everything equal amount of light, thus getting an equal amount or at least full potential of their yields.
And so I imagine this is primarily of benefit to people who are growing indoors under lighting, whatever their herbs of choice may happen to be, so that, of course, they can elevate the small plants closer towards the lights, and as they grow taller, they can step it down so that the plant maintains a good distance from the lights, appropriate, so it grows under optimal conditions. All right. So what's your website? Where can people I'm sorry, you were going to say?
I was just going to say that your home growers, people who like to start their plants indoor, in the later seasons of the fall, or later seasons of the winter, and want to prepare for spring, can utilize that quite a bit, to get their seedlings started and everything, and keep their plants growing at an equal rate or to the best of their abilities before they go and plant them outside.
So obviously this is great for people who are doing tomatoes or other herbs as well, but obviously part of the Cannabis World Summit, I'm sure that many people are already listening to this can already see its use for cannabis. elevate the smaller plants and have everything
Yes,
at
definitely.
optimal distance from the lights.
Different strains will definitely grow, different rates, and anybody who's involved in that sort of industry knows that the direct amount of light can definitely have an effect. So somebody who likes to have different varieties in their garden would definitely utilize and appreciate the product and its ability to even the playing field, so to speak.
Okay. So, Sean, tell us what's your website and how can people find out more about this product to learn more about what it is and where they can possibly get it as well?
The website is ctsinnovators.com. We have several distributors across the country that are involved with it. The best approach would be to contact us on the website. You can purchase from the website, or you can email anybody from the team who will contact you back and set up a payment arrangements of what sort. And on our website as well, they will have the local distributors. Anybody who distributes for us will be on our webpage, and if you're in that particular area, or if you contact the distributor direct, I'm sure they can set up payment and distribution arrangements for you so that you can obtain it easily.
All right. Well, thank you so very much, Sean, for taking the time to explain how to use the 7-leaf drying rack and also the garden equalizer as well. And thank you so much for doing this call with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.